Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and today I'm going to be showing you 3 different ways to put together some fun, quick birthday cards. These are all using our new Happy Birthday journal kit. And I just went ahead and created a couple of different varieties, going from like fastest or easiest to make to like a little bit more complex. So some of these may look a little familiar to you if you are subscribed to our channel or have bought any of our kits before. You might recognize some of these pieces, but I'm just going to be showing you today how you could put all of these together to make a couple of different birthday cards. Maybe if you've got like a last minute project or something you want to do like that. I'm keeping the decorating and assembling pretty simple today. Again, we're just trying to kind of show you some inspiration. So to get started for the first one here, I went ahead and printed out some of these cards from the kit as well as some of these little notebook pages, and I printed these at 75% so that they were small enough to fit inside of the card. If you don't have that option, you can always trim them down. And then we're going to be cutting these in half, and if you want them to be straight, I would recommend cutting them horizontally, not vertically. I cut mine vertically and then realized that the images are upside down on one side if I do that, versus if I'd cut them horizontally, then they would have been facing the right direction. So that's my recommendation, is cut them horizontally and fold them like that instead. All right. So once you've got your cards cut out, we can go ahead and begin with the actual assembling. So these cards were not meant for this project I'm using them in, these little like hidden note cards we're going to be making. So they're not exactly the same size. So to fix that, I'm just going to take the smaller card here and I'm going to add some glue along the perimeter. Again, we want to keep it as close to the edge as possible, and that will make sure that we have plenty of room for ephemera that's going to go inside of it here. So get as close to the edge as you can, all 4 sides here, and glue it down to the larger piece that's sort of a similar size, and then just trim off any extra you have. Alright, once you've done that, it should look something like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that to these other 2 pieces here. Same process, lining them up, gluing them down, trimming off the extra. And then I'm going to be gluing these little cards shut, just like this. Fold them in half. Use a bone folder to make sure they're really nice and flat. Alright. And now that we've done that, we can go ahead and take some scissors, and we're going to be cutting like the top third of this card off. Just try to find a straight line. Sometimes I like to kind of hide it with a straight line in the image on the card. So like the top of the box here is where I cut mine. And then I'm opening it up with a bone folder just to make things a little easier on myself down the line. And then we're just going to take our card that we have and slide it into this top portion, just like this. And that's going to kind of hold it in there, nice and snug, just like that. And then we're going to slide it into the bottom half here, just like this. And then try to line up your image. Might take a moment, but once you do, it should be pretty well hidden, that little slit, and then you can just pull it open like this, and you can put a card with a note in it or maybe a gift card inside if you want. And you don't have to cut your lines perfectly straight. As long as they're long enough, you can do maybe a curve or a triangle. Mine was a little bit crooked here, so maybe use a ruler for yours, but you get the idea. So you can try to experiment a little bit. Alright, so that's our hidden birthday card there. So let's go ahead and do the second project. Now for this one, I am using our oval pop-up window template, and for this one, I just printed it out on cardstock, just the blank template. This one has lines and kind of like a decorative border. That's the one I chose from the template. And then I ran it through the printer again with one of the blank papers from the Happy Birthday kit, just to give it a little bit of color. And then it's printed on cardstock, nothing printed on the back, just the front here. And the same part with this second template piece. It's got these 2 lines on it. Again, printed it on cardstock, just plain white cardstock, and then ran it through again with a pretty paper from the Happy Birthday kit on the front. All right, and for the third piece here, I have this one of the decorative pages from the Happy Birthday kit, one of the journal pages here. And this is just printed on regular paper, not cardstock, because we don't need that extra bulk. So just go ahead and pick one that you like. I like the Happy Birthday label on this, so that's why I'm using this one. And then I went into the Happy Birthday Fussy Cuts kit and printed off some fussy cuts that I liked, and we're going to use these to decorate our card in a little bit. Alright, so to begin, we're going to start with the oval pop-up window template card here, and we're going to cut out this portion. If you've been on the channel, you've probably seen our other tutorial for this, so if you're looking for a more in-depth, slower tutorial on oval pop-up window cards, you can check that out in the description box. I'll have links to all of the kits and everything you see here today down there. And then we're going to fold along this faint line, and I'm going to actually, in our final fold, we're going to fold it in, but to begin I'm going to kind of fold it back just so I can kind of see where I'm folding here. So go ahead and just crease along this very faint line, just like this. And we're going to do the same thing to both sides here. So just find both of those creases and fold them kind of in towards the center. Okay? And now that that's done, we're going to take this back sort of template piece and fold it in half, just like this. And this is how it's going to be folded in its final form, but I'm also going to fold it the other direction so that I can cut along these guidelines here. So just taking some scissors, and we're going to carefully cut along these lines and stop when we get to the end. Same thing on the other side. All right, and then again, folding it back the other way. And we're gonna be popping out this center piece. So just kind of use your finger and apply a little pressure from the back, and then you can kind of pull it from the front like this. And this is gonna be kind of the pop out mechanism for the card. So we don't wanna accidentally crush this center piece. So I like to kind of just gently tug on it as I fold the card closed, just to make sure it doesn't fold awkwardly. And then give it a little bit of a crease right here. And then fold our card flat. And there we go. That is the sort of like central pop-up mechanism. And this portion is going to go underneath the first portion that we made. So to connect those, I'm just taking a little bit of Fabri-Tac glue and adding glue to these end panels, just along the border here on the inside. And then I'm matching up the corners of my cards and gluing that down. So go ahead and do that on both sides of the card. No glue in the center portion, just on the end panels. All right. And then for the outside of the card, we're gonna turn it over and kind of flatten it here. And we're gonna glue our sort of paper panel to the back. So go ahead and add glue. Avoid that center piece. We don't want any glue on the sort of pop out little strip here, so try to keep your glue away from that, but everywhere else you want to apply a good amount of glue and glue the cover on. Again, just lining up the corners. And before it dries, you'll want to make sure to pop out the centerpiece. If it flattened at all, we just really don't want to glue that down. All right, and then close the card, give everything a recrease, and there you go. That's kind of the central base. If you if you glue things a little crooked, you can always cut off the extra, so that's what I'm doing here. And then we can go ahead and take some fussy cuts and begin to decorate. So I've got this little like banner here, this little birthday banner, and I did fold it in half before adding glue to both of the ends. And I'm just gonna kind of glue those ends up here towards the top of the little pop out circle. Just adding some layers, some extra decoration. And then for the bottom here, again, I'm gonna take some flowers and I'm gonna fold them in half, and you have to fold things in half if you're gluing them in the center because that's where the whole card folds. Otherwise they'll get crushed awkwardly. So make sure anything you glue in the center, you fold in half first like this. And I'm keeping my decorating pretty simple today. Just adding a couple of pieces here. You can always get more decorative if you'd like. And for the centerpiece, you want to make sure that you use something that is small enough that it's going to fit. You don't want it to kind of get caught or like, you know, on the edge when the card is closing. So try to find something that's a little bit smaller and we're going to be gluing it to 1/2 of the pop-up. So I'm choosing the right side for mine. And you want to make sure that your pop-up piece doesn't touch the card, otherwise it'll scrape it when closing and it'll not fold properly. All right. And then I'm just going to add a couple of fussy cuts to the corner just for some light decorating. You could make these tuck spots for maybe a gift card or some money or a little thank you card or something like that. I don't know, anything you want to tuck in there. Or you could add some puff tape, give them some dimension to kind of keep with that pop-up theme. You could really go ham on decorating if you want to. I'm just keeping things, again, simple today. I'm not going to add any extra ribbons or things like that, but you certainly could. Alright, so here's kind of that final pop-up card. Now this kit comes with a variety of images and colors, pinks, blues, neutrals, so you can really kind of choose to make it your own. This is just what I kind of did to give you some ideas, but I hope maybe you got inspired and maybe you'll try it out. Alright, so for our third and final birthday card, we are going to be making like a birthday card, like a gift card flip. So the kit already comes with these pages here, so I printed off these pockets on paper for this one, and then the rest of these are all printed on cardstock. Alright, so for the base for the pockets, again printed on cardstock, and then I just flipped it over and printed a pretty pattern on the back, so that when you flip the waterfall cards, they have, you know, something decorative on the back of them. And then they come with these cards that go inside and some fussy cuts to decorate with. You can choose to use these, or you could use gift cards inside the pockets. I'm going to be using both, so I'll kind of show you how I do that a little bit later. And then you need a decorative piece of cardstock printed front and back with any decorative papers of your choosing. I actually ended up swapping mine out for a different one here that I just thought would work a little bit better. So if you see me using this one instead, that's why. And to get started, I went ahead and cut all of my pieces out, and we're going to begin to make the base here. So using that decorative piece of cardstock, again printed front and back, I'm going to use one of the bases for the waterfall tags here, and I'm going to line up this sort of like grayish line with the edge of my paper here, and then I'm going to trace around it to get that kind of square pattern here and make sort of just like a little panel that we're going to use to glue things down to. All right. So let's go ahead and start with these little base pieces for the flip. So we're going to fold along that gray line, just fold them back like this. And then we're going to take these little paper sort of like pockets here and glue those down to it. So I'm just keeping glue very close to the edges, adding it to the top, the bottom, and the side, not on the one where there's like a punched out piece. We'll leave that open. And then we're going to glue these down to that base that we made. So lining up the corners of these cards with the top corner of our base, we're just going to add some glue along this panel. So go ahead and do that. It doesn't take a lot. You don't want it squishing out the sides, just enough. And go ahead and glue that down. Just like this, again, lining it up with the top of the card. And then go ahead and let that dry. Now you could just have this be sort of like its own single card, just like a quick one flip card if you want to give this to someone, or you can do what I'm going to do here and make like a full waterfall. So to do that, we're again adding glue to the next panel here, and we're going to line up the top of this card with the bottom line of that last panel. So just like this, line those up, try to get things sort of straight as you can. Glue that down and let it dry. And again, when it comes to decorating, you could use some distress ink, you could use some ribbon on these, you could use cheesecloth. There's a lot you could do to decorate. I'm going to again keep things simple in this video and just glue down some fussy cuts and a couple of journal words that already came with the sheets that I printed out. And I'm gonna just kind of leave it at that for today, which still looks pretty cute if you're in a rush. Again, birthday cards are, you know, kind of simple things. You don't have to go crazy with it, but if you want to, you're welcome to. And here's kind of what that looks like just as the simple base as is. Right, cute little flipped card here. Now, if you want to, you can take things a step further. So for one, you can use a bone folder and crease all of your folds, and that can help things lie a little bit flatter. And if you want to create even more pockets, I'm going to use the scrap that I made the base from. And I'm going to cut out some squares here, round off the corners with a corner rounding punch, and then use a 1.5 inch circle punch to punch out the end here like this. And now I've made several more pockets that I can use here. So I didn't measure my squares, I just kind of eyeballed it. You're more than welcome to measure if you'd like. And same kind of idea, just adding glue to the edge, and I'm gluing them to the back panels of each of the individual waterfall flip cards here. And I'm going to decorate them again with some fussy cuts and just kind of keep things simple, but this does give you more room for tucking in more cards. So, you know, if you want to give somebody a lot of gift cards, or maybe this is for you have multiple family members in a family you're giving, you could put individual cards for each member of the family, or maybe your office is giving a goodbye card or a happy birthday card to somebody, and everyone in the office can add their own little card with like a note on the back and a gift card into a single pocket. And it's just kind of a nice gift for somebody if you have like multiple gifts to give away. And it's also nice if you're making your own pockets, because you can kind of resize them to fit. If you might have a gift card that's a little bit larger or a little bit smaller, you can kind of adjust for that. So that's another reason you might want to make some extra pockets. All right, so that is going to finish up our waterfall flip birthday card here. And we've also got, you know, our pop-up card and our little hidden note card. So I hope you guys got some new inspiration and some ideas if you're looking for a way to maybe make a birthday card for someone this year. Just kind of show them that you care with a little bit of handmade love. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye!